Hello and welcome to the Battling Barrow and a creepy terrain spooky making video. Ooh. What's that, Skull? Why yes, I am sitting in summer clothes with my window open because it's like a jillion degrees. I'm trying to... okay, I'll come clean. It's not actually October. I'm recording this mid-summer, but this is a terrain project I wanted to do last Halloween month video. I wanted to make a pirate skull cave thing that I was convinced was from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Now I've just recently rewatched them and they are my second favourite film franchise after Lord of the Rings. Really enjoy them. And I think I've been Nelson Mandela affected here because I thought it was in the first one where they're doing the gold ritual, replacing the gold. I thought behind him was like this skull cave carved into stone. It's not there, but I'm still going to go ahead with the project. Now, the reason I didn't do it last year is because I thought I could go into a Halloween store and get a skull like this, or any store that sells Halloween decorations, and get a skull I can make it with. I couldn't find one, so the project was ultimately scrapped. So this year, it's now beginning part of August as I'm buying this, I'm going to a store into their seasonal section expecting to buy summer bits for my garden, and of course no, all I see in there is Christmas, but Halloween in sort of beginning part of August. Okay, but they had this there, so we're going to use this as the basis to make our pirate skull cave. I'm sure in my ongoing pirate themed D&D campaign we can find a use for it. So let's see what we can do with this. So at this stage I wasn't too sure whether I was going to keep the bottom drawer or remove it or have it open. Ultimately I decided to have it open, so what I'm going to do, as it's a bit loose, is I'm just going to glue it open. Next up I'm going to use scraps of white bubbly foam, used the stuff that's used in packaging, just to create a substructure. It's cheap, everyone should have hold of this, and it's just using lots of bits just to build up sort of the cave around the skull, like it's a rock that's been carved and the skull's been carved out of the rock. Just using hot glue for speed to keep it in place. And once I'm happy with the sort of substructure, I come in with some mod rock, which I use this an awful lot on the channel, and if you haven't seen me use it before, it's just plaster on a roll. It's what they used to wrap broken bones up, and they use a similar product now but a bit more better than this. It's just plaster on a roll and you just soak it in water, cut it up in strips, soak it into water and apply it onto your piece. Normally in the past I just leave this as the rock surface. At this stage it does make a good rock surface, but of course this video is all about making your homemade Sculptamold, so let's do that next. For this I'm going to use shredded documents, so if you've got any old documents you want to shred, and can either throw them away, recycle them, or use them for Sculptamold, perfect. That one can get hold of your details then. Hackers, get lost. So originally my plan was to use this and then chop it up into even smaller, sort of almost confetti pieces. Ultimately you don't need to do this, you can just use the shreds direct and it just works lovely. I gave up quite quickly doing this. So yeah, with that I'm going to follow the instructions of plaster. I'm using the Herculite 2, so for this you add it to water. So I've got the water and I'm just going to add the shreds into the water, let it soak up, tear them, and basically create paper mache. Into this I add the plaster. Now I want this to be ever so slightly more sort of liquidy than normal, just so it soaks into the paper, but you can adjust it and add it to suit. The nice thing about this, you can add as much water or plaster and make it as liquid or more putty, pasty, as you like. And now comes the fun part, slapping it all over the skull cave. Now, because we've got a good substructure of the polystyrene and the mod rock, it's great. We don't have to use that much, and we can just apply it on, smooth out all those more angular pieces, if you like, and just make it look really nice and cave-like. It dries fairly quick. Touch dry, you'd have to leave it 24 hours really, maybe a bit longer for it to completely dry for painting, but touch dry, yeah, 10 or so minutes. I undercoat it all in black, and then I'm just going to do a nice quick paint job. Really, it's not the point of this video. The point was to show you that how easy it is to make homemade Sculptamold. So what I'm going to do is dry brush a grey, a mid-grey, get that all over the piece. I would say dry brush is probably more a heavy overbrush, you know, getting most of it covered and just leaving the odd bit of black shining through. It's then coming in with some brown, because I don't want it to be grey, so I'm going to do sort of light dry brushes and stippling and what have you of this brown just all over. Then I'm going to come in with a sort of brown mixed in with grey, so it's like blends it all together a bit, and just dry brush this over just to blend it in, just to add a bit more interest to the colours. Very light dry brush of a light grey. You can use a tan for this if you want, but I want it to go light grey for this. Now let that dry, all the painting dry, and come in with some homemade black wash. This is just dirty paint water. See that in the top right hand side there of my paint water, I use that as a base. Add in black ink, black paint and brown paint to this just to give it an off black look, and a bit of dishwasher sort of soap, washing up liquid soap, just to add as a an agent to make it flow better. And then I'm going to use this really old camo green from Citadel Paints. This is gone really dry, but it's perfect for this, so I've kept it for dry brushing some mouldy green bits over it where things are a bit mouldy and what have you. And yeah, at this stage we're pretty much done. I'm just going to carry on going around and painting that all over. And with wasn't I wearing a yellow t-shirt earlier on? Anyway, with that done, you will end up with something like this. Ooh, spooky. Let's have a look at it set up properly anyway in a minute, but for now, thanks for watching. If you like this, have a like of the video. If you really like it, subscribe. You know, have a little subscribe if you're not already. I'm assuming you are, because you're good people. And until the next video, guys, stay safe, take care, bye bye.